So how did it all start? These go back, I think it was at 2007 when I started doing these things. At the time, my son was very young. He'd only just been born. He had a lot of health problems. We were going through real shit on the stick because he would stop breathing when he was asleep. And somebody had to wee awake to give him a bit of a shake, or he wouldn't breathe. So there was a lot of stress at the time. And to be honest, I needed an out. I needed something to enable me to stay in contact with sort of my mates that were all over the place by then, all over the world. But also just to get rid of, you know, the stress and shit of life. As you know, I can talk for England, right? I'd probably get a gold medal for talking. Yeah. But that's how it started. It was just something for me and a few of my mates. I wasn't too bothered about making a tit of myself because I thought, well, nobody's going to see these. You know, my mates know my sense of humour, right? Of course, that was famous last words, and over time, they started to take on a life of their own. You know, more and more people started watching. So I suppose you could say they've got a minor sort of, you know, sort of following, right, at the moment. My rule's always been to be truthful, no matter what the consequences. So I am, right? One thing I don't do is lie. I can't stand lies. The first Waynecast was done in my front room at Langley Park, just in front of my desk with the world's oldest webcam, right? It was 5-year-old then. Terrible quality. The first Waynecast, I think, in fact, let's have it on my notes, because it's on here, in this script somewhere. If I've got to find the bloody page, really. There we are. So this is like number 100. The first outdoor one was number 10. First time I did an outdoor Waynecast, because I bought the Nokia N70 phone. Little tiny, it's still in the drawer on there, it doesn't work, but I keep it just for sentimental reasons. So I meant I could do them when I went for a walk, which was important just to clear my head when you've got a kid screaming 20 hours a day, right? But the first one that was actually both parts outside was number 11. You know, the rule of these things is when I'm outdoors, I won't take the full camera rig, right? Because that's not for these. But it's got to fit in my pocket, it's got to be light. It's why I avoid taking a tripod or the Steadicam rig, because then it becomes like a production. This is basically my video diary, nothing else, right? And it's seen a lot of changes. It's seen me go from being a hardcore ZBrush user at the time, because at this point nobody knew whether Autodesk had killed off Budbox for good or not. I stuck there for about 18 months after most people had left, and it got to the point where I thought, well, they've obviously not going to release another version, so I had no choice but to move. And I honestly didn't think, as I've said before, that I would ever in a million years have moved. But I always say that everybody finds the program that is meant for them, that is right for them. It took me a long time to find the one that was right for me. Now what's right for me might not be right for you. Said it a million times on these things, but try them all, give them a good run. I did. You know, and it took a long time for me to find the program that was right. But there you go. So it's documented through the hard times when I was writing Essential ZBrush. See, I knew that book was never going to get a fair crack of the whip from Pixelogic. And it's the hardest thing in the world to write something knowing that the software you're writing it for wants you to be a failure at it. Harsh but true, I'm afraid. And that did send me more than a bit crazy for a while. If you look at the early ones, you know, it was like Saturday night at the fucking nut house, you know what I mean? There's more than a bit of psychosis going on. And once it was out, I was so sick of the sight of ZBrush after a year, 18 hours a day and night, that I never want to see it again. So that, you know, it was like that I give up art, right? And I've been through a number of times in my life when I've been sorely tempted to give up 3D and think, you know, this is just too much bloody hassle. You know, I've said before, I'm seriously bipolar. You know, as you notice with the moods are up and down like a bloody yo-yo. You know, I'm a clinical insomniac. One of the things I was going to mention in there is the health problems that aren't up till now common knowledge in the 3D industry. I have a problem with the left temporal lobe of my brain, discovered when I was a kid. Well, I'm saying kid, I was 17. And this, the irony was, I just spent a year flat on my back with a spinal problem that could have left me in a wheelchair. Now the temporal lobe, it's strange because although I have a terrible memory for everyday stuff, my memory is really sharp for knowledge. I learn faster, and the doctors, I've had a million brain scans, literally I've had hundreds of them. It runs faster and hotter sometimes. The temperature is hotter inside the brain, but that comes at a cost. Usually I might get 9 days work done, but be ill for 3 or 4 days afterwards. One day, one of two things will happen. One, I'll wake up and I won't be able to remember the last 5, 10, 20 years of my life. Knowledge, people, everything. Or, that's it, right? Now the chances are, nobody knows when the hell this is going to happen. I mean, I might be 150 before it happens. I probably won't bloody, be in fit state to realise anyway afterwards. But I think the person that does reserve the most respect is my wife, because she wakes up every day not knowing whether I'm going to remember who she is. Which is, but yeah. But to be honest, does it have any effect on my work? Does it? Fuck. I've had this 23 years, is it more than that? I can't remember. It's about 23 years, right? I'm used to it. I'm surprised what human brain can get used to. But yeah, so there's more than a few health problems that I battle through, but you know what? It doesn't mean shit. But I thought it's nice to have it out there. This is number 100. I'd like to think I'm at a point in my career now where, for once, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is wrong health-wise or anything else. I can say, look, this is the way it fucking is. This is the way it's been. But take it or leave it, you know what I mean? Now I know some people say, oh, he's obviously lying, but trust me, if you've seen the size of my medical notes, no. But it's not an issue, you know what I mean? But I thought it'd be nice to put it out there, so that if the day ever comes where I suddenly disappear off the scene, that could be a reason why. I always said if it got to the point where it was either it interfered with my work, or it became too bad, then that'll be, I call it a day. So far, touch wood, that hasn't happened. Right? Now I've been out buying again. I've bought a set of carbon fibre tripod legs. I've got a liquid head. This is not liquid head because liquid head is for something else, for the dolly track system. That's due to be, should be here today actually. But yeah, so 100 of these things. I never thought I'd reach 100. Probably take another 2 years minimum to get to 200, unless I start doing them every day. Jesus Christ. There's actually somebody watching all these that pinged me last night on Twitter. They're watching every single Waynecast from number 1 right up to the end, which, well, not the end, but the last one, which is number 99 at the time of recording. I'm thinking, this guy deserves a freaking medal or something, you know what I mean? I couldn't watch them all. And it literally, would send you crazy watching them all back to back. But I hope you've enjoyed these things. I'll keep on doing them. The trouble is now that, as they're watched by more people, I've sometimes got to be more careful about what I say. And people sometimes watch the really old ones, like number 3 or something, and they'll take something that was recorded in 2007, apply it to nowadays, and then rip me a new one for something that happened 3 years ago. There's also that as well. But I try not to second guess myself too. What the fuck? I'll just do what I do. I'm going to cut the camera again just so it doesn't do the turn you off shit.